Today our group will share about the chapter 2 that is using the social theory. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Chua Eva, metric number 253651. In sport and society, the best theory is using a systematic observation of social world to describe and explain the aspect and the social life. The theory also makes us to look at the thing from a new perspective and more fully understanding the relationship between the sport and the social life that make a decision in sport participation. Besides that, there are 6 major theories are using in sport and society. There are functionalist theory, critical theory, conflict theory, feminist theory, interactionist theory. The last one is liberational theory.
Okay, Assalamualaikum to Dr. Lina and all my friends. My name is Nurul Binti Rosli. My metric number is 254442. Okay, now it's my turn to explain about the functionalist theory. Okay, the first one is functionalist theory is value and establish a social arrangement that maintain the system in state of balance equilibriums. Okay, the second one is the way that each part in the system and how they contribute to the system overall operation, to know how sport can contribute to the whole system and give the benefit to the society. Okay, the third one is focuses on the way that each of these social institutions help the larger of social to operate efficiently. Okay, this theory also, the researcher also have said that if you have these 4 things, you will have a good operation in the society. The first one is socialize people so they can learn and accept important cultural value. So if they keep socialize to each other, they will know the culture and they will accept the important culture in their life. Okay, the second one is promote social connection between people so they can cooperate with one another. Okay. The third one is motivate people to achieve socially approved through socially accepted means. Okay. The last one is protect the overall system from disruptive outside influence. Okay. If you fulfill these all system needs, you will have a good operation in the society. And if you have a good operation, you will give a lot of benefit to the overall system and you will give a benefit to the whole society. Okay. The next one is a functionalist theory and research on sport. Okay, first, lead people to research question how sport contribute to the organization, societies and the social system. So they will lead people to know how to ask how sport can give the benefit to the whole system, to the society, the community, the social system and everything. People will search how sport can give benefit to them. Okay, the second one is focuses on the way sport can contribute to smooth operation of society, communities, organization and group. Okay, they want to know how sport can give a smooth organization to the society. So they will keep a research to the thing that and find how sport can give benefit to them. Okay, the last one is functionalist theory because it emphasizes the function of sport that support the conclusion that sport is source of inspiration for the individuals and society. So sport can give the inspiration to the individual and the societies that sport have a good benefit for them. So why not we try the sport? That's why. Okay, the second slide is I want to talk about the using functionalist theory in everyday life. Okay, people in position of power make decision about sport and sport program as national or local level. Okay, the second one is popular in society because it maintains the value that preserve ability and order in social life. So sport has a lot of type of sport, so you can try it by depends on your abilities. If you have abilities to play a football, you can play a football. If you have abilities to play badminton, you can play the badminton. So you have a lot of choice to play a sport.
My name is Aung Elaine, number metric 259172. Next, I will explain about the critical theory. In the critical theory, they have been defined as deeply concerned with the destiny of modernism and offered with systemic and comprehensive theories of the path of modernism combined with some of the progressive elements. According to Killer 1989, the critical theory has been generally committed to the idea of modernism and the progress, and for the way that the futures of the modernism can create the problems for individuals and the society, and also for the player in the sport. Besides that, from Weber 1978, it states that the critical theory will force the increasing of the dominated Western and other societies, that limiting the creativity and the human spirit between the society or the sport in the player. And besides that, the critical theory will also define as certified the power and the needs, which is classified by the Frankfurt School. For the next is using the critical theory in everyday life. In our everyday life, actually that we also using the critical theory to solve for the problem. For the first is challenge and alter the approach. The second is technical practices. The third is increase the number and the divergence of sport participation opportunities, and the last is challenge the voices and the perspective of those who power in the society. For the increase the number and the divergence of sport participant opportunities, some of the coach of the society, they will use their power and the needs to get the players for some of the competition, and also maybe through their agreements or others. And for the challenge the voices and the perspective of those who power in the society, for example, they will use their words to show off the powers to the other society. For example, the players, between the players and the coach, or the player between the coach, that they will sometimes they will have some arguments. For the winners of the critical theory, actually that they have three. For the first is there was not clear with the guidelines for identifying and assess the forms of obstruction and strategies for producing the transformation in the sport society. Actually that the winners, they will just concentrate the specific problems that they will face, and they will start to processing for solving the problems, maybe from their side of thinking or others. And for the second is they will use the confusing vocabulary or the action that the people don't understand. For example, when they have their argument or discussion or making some decision, the society or the player or the coach, they will use the confusing vocab or the action that the people don't understand, maybe from their talking, from their maybe using the rule vocab or others. And for the last winners is they will not provide the tangible guideline to determine where the sport reiterated or accepted by the society. Actually that for the theory, they was not have the right or wrong between all the norms or the rules.
Hi everyone, my name is Jia Hui, matrix number 254599. Next, we will continue to the conflict theory. Conflict theory was proposed by Karl Marx. This theory explains about the society in a state of permanent conflicts due to the competitions for the limited resources. Scholars believe that the social roles are maintained by the power and the rules, rather than the consensus and integrations. When people passively accept capitalist value, sport becomes opiates in the society. This means that the capitalist system is essentially based on the exploitations of workers. Okay, next is about using conflict theory in everyday life. This theory focuses more on the needs to change sport and socio-economic organizations. This is to give athletes to control over their working conditions. The same problem that arises in the society and sport is about the lack of power on the side of workers. Therefore, the conflict theorists believe that the policy and plans need to be regulated and eliminated the motive of sport interested, while increasing the control of athletes over their own participation in the sport. Besides that, in order to reduce the ambiguity of focus of sport, they believe that the policy should be increase the factor of the sport competitions and decrease the factor of the landscape. This is because the purpose of reviewing factor is to generate the commercial profit. They believe that the sport participant should be turned into liberating and empowering experience for the general public. There are three weaknesses of conflict theory. The first one, conflict theory ignores the possibility of sport in the capitalist society might experience the empower individuals and groups. Conflict theory scholars believe that the purpose of hosting and sport is to allow the wealth party to control the rest of the capitalist society. The second weaknesses of the conflict theory is that the establishment of conflict theory assumes that all the aspects in the social life are economically determined. But however, there are some type of events that are not entirely shaped by the economic factors and also interest in the wealth. The third weaknesses of conflict theory is the judgment of conflict theories. Conflict theories only use the social status and economic conditions to judge a person. It underestimates the other important factors such as age, gender, and race.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Hawani with Amiruddin 259135. Today I would like to present about feminist theory. Feminist theory is an extension of feminism into theoretical discourse. It focuses to understand the nature of gender inequality and examine social roles, experience, and interests of women. It also focuses on analyzing gender inequality and the promotion of women's interests. The feminist perspective of gender was first highlighted by feminist sociologist Kimberly Crenshaw. She suggests that various biological, social, and cultural categories contribute toward systematic social inequality. And based on feminist theory, the repression and marginalization of women is created not only by gender but by other factors like race and class. Next, using feminist theory in everyday life. Critical feminist theory argue that both structural and cultural changes are needed and necessary before there can be a gender equality existed in sport society. Critical feminist theory actually had a big impact on sociology of sport. It helped to improve our understanding of sport as an element of culture and gender issue in sport. As an example, men's sport is more widely viewed rather than women. So the knowledge fact of our everyday life had been inspired primarily by feminist theory. If we did not know about this fact and the reason of existence, we did not deserve to argue about sports. Next, weaknesses of feminist theory. There are two weaknesses of feminist theory. First, the lack of clear guidelines for assessing form of resistance and the value of ideas and action in providing social transformation. Women are treated not fairly in sports. And second, they have not given enough attention to connection between gender and the categories of experiences. Like they didn't given any chance to speak. Thank you.
Next, I will explain about the interactionist theory. The interactionist theory is a theory that focuses on the relationship among the individual within a society. The important point in this theory is communication, the action of meaning through symbol or language that believed to be the way in which people make sense of their social world. Moreover, the interactionist theory also studying how individuals experience the sport and how they identify with social process of becoming or not becoming an elite. The theory also look at the sport from the personal perspective. Actually, the interactionist theory is used in our daily life, which based on the reality of the life that people interact with others and giving meaning with their own complex world. The interactionist theory also focuses on the meaning and the interaction related to the sport and sport participation that can give the participant an opportunity to increase discussion, sharing of their idea, experience, and understanding the sport experience. Each theory has its own winner that we should be aware for. The interactionist theory also has two such winners. First, the interactionist theory only focuses on the relationship and the definition of reality. It does not explain how the interaction and construction of meaning in sport are influenced by the social organization, power, and material conditions in society. That also means this theory ignores the power relation. Second, the interactionist theory has not yet developed a critical method to the social world. It does not provide a critical vision of the way that the sport and society should and could be organized.
Hello, hi, my name is Nadhirah with Salim, my measure number 263767. I will be continue explaining about what is figurational theory. Figurational theory can be defined as a network of interdependency ties between people that have been said by Collins and Jackson. It also known as the process sociology. This theory has been developed by a German sociologist, Norbert Elias. Elias said that people is dependent on each other first by nature, and then through social learning, through education, socialization, and socially generated reciprocal needs. In a supporting context, figurational theory identifies the balance of power between positions who are independent on one another, such as players and coaches. Power is held at the top of each club, even though each interdependency is connected in a sporting environment. The process of figurational theory attempts to further understand an issue through analyzing the cultural, societal, environmental, and historical influences involved. The idea and concept of this theory focuses on the long-term development of sport and form a relationship between sport and the wider society. For the context of using figurational theory in daily life, it helps to analyze an issue completely. It's necessary to focus on society as a whole and identify the figuration which exists with the society. It also could lead us to more understanding how people emerge and change through their connection with others. This is important because it allows us to understand social development through time. The figurational theory may mean that when there is an issue, people and groups will change their perspective and approach toward the issue that could lead improvement and changes often affected from interpretation by the media. And prominence of this theory, first is give too little attention to problems and struggles that affect day-to-day life. As much as the society understands the figurational theory, people will keep on changing their perspective over time on the issue happening. However, people tend to ignore as not giving much attention to addressing the issue. Even though figurational theory can be used to understand a behavior, but it is not specific to a problem. On another weaknesses of this theory is not given enough attention to the experience of women and gender equality that affect their life. This could lead to discrimination, especially in sport. Women athletes will feel that they are not benefited in any way and feel like they have to put off from playing and become excluded and disadvantaged. So that's all for figurational theory. Thank you.
In conclusion, we believe that the combinations of the functional theories and interactional theories are the best theory approach to the studies of sport and society. This is because we view the sport from the perception of who decide to play or not, and understand how people currently think about the sport and society.